On October 4th, 1957, the world's first artificial satellite was launched by the Soviet Union. Sputnik, as it was called, was only about the size of a beach ball, but this small hunk of metal caught the world's attention and set the United States scrambling to keep up with Soviet advances in science and technology. It spurred both the United States and the Soviet Union onward into what is known as the space race.
Mr. President, we have new information on the state of Soviet space activities, and it looks as if the Sputnik launch has been successful. Currently, the satellite is orbiting the Earth and appears to be above the Pacific Ocean.
I was worried this would happen. We must act now. We absolutely cannot let the world turn to view Russia as a dominant world power. As we speak, countries are starting to see Russia as superior to the United States. I want scientists working to surpass the development immediately. Do whatever you can to restore American exceptionalism. Now.
We're on it, sir.
Thank you.
Born out of fear of Soviet takeover and superiority, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, was formed to better the American space effort and help the country compete with the Soviets, who were dominating the early stages of the space race. They shot even further in the race when they sent a man into space, Yuri Gagarin. Take off in T-minus 3, 2, 1, and we have liftoff. All systems seem to be in check. Yuri, how are you doing?
Even better now that Russia is the first nation in space.
The United States was not far behind and sent Alan Shepard into space only weeks after Gagarin. It seems as though America was finally catching up with the Soviets. However, America was not contented with constantly being one step behind. They wanted to get ahead, and so Freedom 7 must be finished in a more timely fashion. If the United States wishes to be ahead in this race for superiority, the first step is to show the world what the United States is really capable of, and that is the launch of Freedom 7.
It was launched on May 5, 1961. The flight, although only 15 minutes long, was successful in that it demonstrated to the world that America was starting to pull ahead in the race, but America would soon shoot forward far past the Russians.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one which we intend to win, and the others too. And with that, America's mission to put a man on the moon and get him back to Earth safely began. Finally, the day came where America would reach the goal it had been striving towards for the whole decade, a day that would go down in history, July 24th, 1969.
About 120 feet from the landing site. Over. 100 feet, 5% fuel remaining. 75, we're looking good. Over.
Roger that. Take her down slow.
Copy. Landing successful.
On and clear. Over.
After about 6 hours inside the lunar module, Armstrong and Aldrin prepared to take their first steps on the surface of the moon.
We can see you on the TV coming down the ladder now.
Okay, I'm going to step off the LM now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Very good. Over.
And with that, America had won the space race. The United States had achieved their goal and bested the Soviets in the quest for dominance, not only in space technology, but also supremacy and world standing. The space race had left a legacy as a period of unprecedented growth in research and advancements in space endeavors. Today, over 1,000 satellites orbit the Earth, relaying information back down to the planet that makes our lives easier. In addition, certain aspects of our everyday lives, such as frozen food or listening to music, was derived from technology originally invented during the space race. Today, the United States still strives to better our position in world standing. Regarding space, our goal was and still remains to make available for every life, every place where life is possible, to make inhabitable all worlds yet uninhabitable, and all life purpose.